Today we are taking you inside one of the haunted houses for Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. That's right, we're getting a behind the scenes tour of the Fallout Haunted House. We are so grateful for the opportunity to tour this haunted house with creative director John Murdy, and we found out so much information about the Fallout Haunted House, as well as get to see a preview of the different scenes. And on top of that, at the end of this video, we're going to talk about one specific haunted house that Murdy revealed a lot of details about, and that's the horrors of the Wyatt Six. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. Welcome back to Exploring Attractions. My name is Scott, and if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button with those bell notifications on. If you don't want to miss a video like the one that you're watching right now, it really helps out the channel a whole lot, and leave this video a like at the end if you enjoy it as well. And if you want even more content from Exploring Attractions, you can check our social content, Instagram, X, and TikTok. But today we are talking about all things Fallout, and as a fan of the video games and the TV series, it was very exciting to be one of the first guests to step foot inside the Fallout Haunted House, coming to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood, which kicks off next week on September 4th, I believe it is. So very, very soon. I'll kind of give you guys a breakdown of exactly what he was saying and what he kind of teased and stuff like that. There is a couple scenes that we weren't able to get on camera. However, I can describe them to the best of my ability, at least. So first and foremost, if you guys aren't aware already, the Fallout Haunted House will be located where the Walking Dead attraction was a long time ago, and if in more recent years, A Quiet Place was in this location last year. Really good location, a really good venue. They've turned it into kind of a black box where they can plug anything into it. We start off the house experience in Vault 33, where we're greeted with Lucy from one side and then Monty on the other side. And it's like a double scare. So right off the bat, as soon as you walk in, you're hit with a double scare. Now keep in mind, this double scare is after their fight with each other, so Lucy's all bloodied up in her wedding dress and everything. So then you walk through the Vault 33 and you turn the corner into Vault 32, or if you guys haven't watched the show, Vault 32 are all the raiders who came in and raided the Vault 33 and essentially killed everyone. So you'll walk through some hanging bodies, and then you'll transition out into the Wasteland, is what it's called. The Wasteland is what's up above the vault. So in the vaults, you're protected there. In the Wasteland, you're not. Anything can come out, anything can scare you, including some rad roaches, which on this little facade that they have here for the Wasteland, you will get to see the rad roaches. Now they'll be on a TV screen, really animated. They kind of modeled these after an exact replica of the rad roaches that they use in the TV show. And on the right hand side, you'll see a scare actor, and this will be the opportunity for another double scare. So the scare actor will be able to jump out at you from the front, and then you'll pass through some curtains, and you'll get another double scare experience. This whole room, the entryway into the Wasteland, was really freaking cool because it's not done yet. And I say it's cool because it's not done yet because even not being done yet, it was still pretty impressive. Murdy told us that there would be sand on the floor as well as a bunch of bodies on the floor to really make you feel like you're in the Wasteland. Pretty immersive scene here, if I do say so myself. But after that, we transition into Ghoul's Graveyard. I believe he said that this is exclusive to Hollywood. So there's two specific scenes that I know that are exclusive to Hollywood and you won't be able to see at the Orlando house. This is where you're first introduced to the Ghoul himself, which is kind of the main antagonist / protagonist character that you see in the TV series. Now there's definitely a different variety of ghouls, but this main character one is obviously kind of the good guy in a way. He's kind of like a frenemy to Lucy, if you will. I don't know, that's the best way to describe it. I think Murdy kind of summed up the ghouls to the best of his ability in the tour, where he said, there's these ghouls that turn feral if they don't have just a dose of medicine, and they turn regular non-scary ghouls at all, obviously, if they have this medication. So throughout the TV series, you'll see the bounty hunter ghoul popping this medication. But anyways, yeah, this is where he kind of rises, this is where his grave is at, and this is where you'll obviously first encounter the bounty hunter himself. Now after this, we go into a room which we were not allowed to show you, but let me tell y'all, this is one of the most impressive haunt scenes I've ever seen. So there is an animatronic in there with the armor, and this is where we'll see Maximus kind of right next to his armor. This is the scene where they go into the cave. And what are they greeted with in the cave? Well, they're greeted with a radioactive bear. But on the right hand side, you'll see that armor, full scale animatronic. It was kind of like half and half robot pieces, half and half armor. It's very interesting to see this stuff behind the scenes, and that's obviously why we can't take pictures of video of it. But just imagine the armor in like full animatronic form. And then right across from it is a massive, and let me tell y'all, this is one of the biggest puppets I've ever seen at any haunted house. A massive radioactive bear puppet. This thing, the details on this was so freaking impressive. Like, they really paid attention to every single little detail, from the drool dripping down the bear's face to the ability for the bear's mouth to move. It is so freaking impressive, and we cannot wait to see it when it's raised up a little bit more and with the lighting and scaring the living crap out of everybody. I really wish I can show y'all because it's very impressive. Oh, and by the way, this cave scene is exclusive to Hollywood as well. But after that, we go into one of the most iconic scenes from the TV series, which is the Super Duper Mart. Here we'll see obviously Lucia again running away from Snip Snip, who's trying to harvest her organs, as Ghoul the bounty hunter is essentially turning her in and selling her for stuff. I think in the TV series he actually sells her for more of that like medication, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, we see the outside of the Super Duper Mart. You'll have a couple more characters in here, lots of different like animated stuff on as far as like the TVs go and the projections go that weren't turned on obviously quite yet. The inside of the Super Duper Mart, I feel like they really captured perfectly. Everything's all run down, everything's torn apart, the flooring is torn apart, the flooring is all kind of like dirty and everything. It's incredible. And then at the end you are hit with 4 different scares. Obviously all the ghouls coming out of these different freezers, they really kind of capture this very well as well. I was really happy to see that they're gonna have these scares. I was able to see like all the different triggers on the bottom where the characters pop out and trigger all the lighting and sound effects. But yeah, 4 different scares in this room in the Super Duper Mart, as well as Lucy, as well as Snip Snip, and so much more. And the ending of this haunted house actually leaves us with a tease for New Vegas, which is going to be the season 2 version of Fallout. There's a projection that kind of gives us like a neat effect, and then one last scare at the end as well. That, like I said, it gives us a teaser into season 2 for the Fallout TV series. But that was a very exciting behind the scenes look at the Fallout haunted house coming to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood. But I did tease in the beginning that we'll be talking about the horrors of the Wyatt Six, and that's because Murdy did give us a lot of info. Obviously there was time for questions and stuff like that. One of the big questions was about WWE, and honestly it works out for me perfectly because I am a huge fan of the WWE. I've been watching it for years and years, and even went through the rough period of 2019 when it was really in a bad place. But yeah, may he rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. This house is a tribute to him, and he talked a lot about how there's different Easter eggs with the lantern and the rocking chair throughout the horrors of the Wyatt Six haunted house experience. He also did talk a little bit about the differences between Orlando and Hollywood, and we kind of already knew that Orlando is going the route of that kind of Monday Night Raw debut scene of the Wyatt Six family, whereas Hollywood's going the route of the Wyatt compound, where it all started from the 3 part of the Wyatt family: Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, and Bray Wyatt. And like I said, may they both rest in peace in Brody Lee and Bray Wyatt. Brody Lee, also known as Luke Harper. However, Eric Rowan is still carrying out the legacy as Ramblin' Rabbit with the current version of the Wyatt Six. He also talked about how he specifically requested that like all the victims of the Wyatt Six have different like essentially heel shirts, so like LA Knight, The Miz t-shirts. So he reached out to WWE to see if it's okay if they order a bunch of WWE shirts, and then they sent him a bunch of WWE shirts. So that'll be a fun Easter egg to look at the different victim shirts, see what superstars they're wearing. Most likely they'll be heels. Right off the bat, like I said, I think I could see The Miz, The New Day, Logan Paul, heels like that we could see like a part of the victims t-shirts of the Wyatt Six, which would be pretty funny. As a WWE fan, I'm definitely going to be looking out for all the shirts and see how many I can find. So that'll be a fun thing for me to check out during this house experience. But he also described it as like it's an original house featuring the Wyatt Six. Like the whole idea of it is all original storylines. So like he kind of teased that obviously Huskus the pig would be featured in kind of like a pigsty CSI, if you will. Ramblin' Rabbit will be more featured in kind of this like demented Alice in Wonderland type setting. Obviously, we all start off with the Wyatt compound. He kind of broke down each scene like that. I'm really excited to see the Ramblin' Rabbit area. I think that's going to be really cool, and I hope that the casted people who are like as tall and as big as Eric Rowan as they do with like Leatherface and Jason, I think that'll really add to the effect. But yeah, just hearing like John Murdy talk about WWE and hearing that like he's also just as passionate about it, even though he's not like a huge fan like Mike Aiello is over in Orlando, it really makes me excited because you can tell that he definitely wanted to pay tribute to Bray Wyatt, and I think that's really cool. And I think that the Horrors of the Wyatt Six is going to really deliver, especially now knowing the information that we do from John. He did give us an idea about the Art the Clown roaming character, and I won't give too much away other than you're not safe anywhere. Art the Clown will be going into stores and food places and restaurants, so be on the lookout for Art the Clown. But that's all as far as the behind the scenes tour with John Murdy and Universal Studios. We had a great time on this tour, and we can't wait to see the Fallout Haunted House in full effect, as well as the different elements and houses that we talked about in this video. But y'all, if you want more HHN content and you're looking for an opening night vlog, we will be filming our entire experience on opening night, so make sure you're subscribed with those bell notifications on and you're following us on all of our social content, X, TikTok, and Instagram, because that is where we post our first kind of breaking news stuff and our first kind of up-to-date content as well. So my name is Scott. You've been watching Exploring Attractions. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, positivity is key, and most importantly, remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.